Passing the conch. Good morning. My name is John Fierst, Vice President of Underwriting Programs. I've been with Jewelers Mutual about 5 years. And I'm in the unenviable position of being between you and lunch, so I'm aware of that. I also am aware I'm an underwriter standing in front of a room full of agents, so I don't want any Academy Award type things, but I have noticed I've got an exit door here, so if I see an aggressive walking towards the stage, I want to make a quick run. All right, so here's the agenda. I want to talk a bit about underwriting programs. We're in a bit of a transition here, so I want to do a compare and contrast of what you know as Jewelers Mutual underwriting before and what we're hoping to move towards. Also, based on some feedback we received from all of you in advance of the sessions, is who do I go to? What are you know, if I need to get something done, who's running which programs? I want to go over some structure and capability. We're also talking about initiatives and developments. We're doing a lot of work in underwriting programs. Much of my staff is here over the course of these couple days. I want to make sure you know who they are and what they're working on. Future capabilities. This will be a journey. It will be, and we'll be looking for input from you. We've got some ideas, but certainly this is a work in progress, and we're looking for help from all of you. And then finally end with a call to action. I think with any conference, it's always very good to have a few nuggets to take away, to work on, and again, need some of your help. Okay, underwriting programs. I think of underwriting programs as an operational facility. It's connecting you as agents with my carrier partners. This is a balancing act in underwriting programs. You as agents, you're looking for ease of doing business. You're looking for efficiency. You want products and services that meet the needs of your customers. But you also want service level agreements. If you send something to my team's way, you want to make sure you get a turnaround in a reasonable and agreed upon period of time. Conversely, if you're a carrier partner, you have business objectives. I wouldn't be doing my job in underwriting programs if I'm not providing a return for the carrier partners. They're not going to entrust their capital to me and my team if we can't meet those business objectives. But they also have service level agreements. I'm representing their product. I need to be able to facilitate that product in an efficient manner and meeting the needs of distribution. And most importantly, carrier partners want access to all of you, the agents and brokers, the best in the US and Canada in the jewelry and pawn space. So I want to draw a distinction here between underwriting programs and agency operations. Think of that as two prongs within JM Partner Solutions. That's run by Krista Peterson, our two owned agencies. Think in terms of access to open markets like Hanover, et cetera, traditional agency activity. We speak in terms of being carrier agnostic. Probably put a better way, as long as a product and service meets the needs of the customer, that is our aim. I'm going to draw your attention to this comment here, home for every jewelry and pawn risk. This is a little bit aspirational, but there should not be a time where there is a submission sent to us where we would say no. In a perfect world with JM Partner Solutions, we will have an option for every risk coming our way, and we won't have to have non-renewal situations because we will have a market to place that business with. Finally, and I think most importantly, is we have a reputation as JM, providing that JM experience regardless of the product involved, that really recognizes and capitalizes on the power of the brand. Okay, here's that compare and contrast I talked about. You see Jewelers Mutual Insurance Company, prior to building JM Partner Solutions, one company, underwritten and serviced. Trying to use that one product to meet the needs of the customer, it doesn't always work. As an admitted carrier, I'm sure you're thinking about those times where you had a unique wholesaler or manufacturer, you want some manuscript type coverages. With the Jewelers Mutual Insurance Company product, a very good product, but we were oftentimes trying to maneuver that product to meet the needs, not always successful. Over a period of many years though, we've developed great skill and acumen in underwriting, product management, claims fulfillment, loss prevention, data and analytics. I believe we do the finest out there in the industry. and singularly focused on the customer and our agents. That never changes. Now we make that transition to underwriting programs. Currently, underwriting on behalf of Jewelers Mutual Insurance Company. We have products with London where London puts up the capital. We are underwriting and servicing that product on their behalf. And uniquely, we have a relationship with Berkeley to underwrite their workers' comp product. You're probably thinking back, would I ever have a time where I'm sitting with Jewelers Mutual at a JM Summit talking about underwriting on behalf of Berkeley, but here we are. Here's the carrier agnostic again. Use a program or carrier best aligned and suited to the market. Certainly that's a part of it. I think this is the big one here though. JM capability, and I'm talking about the underwriting acumen, the product, claims, loss prevention, et cetera. Using those skill sets on behalf of other carriers, there's a lot we bring to the table. In conversation with partners in London, I can tell you they're extremely excited about this opportunity. And then finally, singularly focused on the customer and our agents. Regardless of underwriting programs or JMIC underwriting before, that doesn't change. Okay, here's very briefly, pretty standard underwriting org chart. Underwriting programs is comprised of line underwriting, the underwriters you're interacting with making decisions, staff underwriting, traditional staff activity, audits, training, and underwriting operations, service center, policy specialists. So let's talk about these in a little more detail. Line underwriters, underwriting authority for decisions on behalf of carriers, leveraging underwriting program capability. Led by Ellie Ray. Ellie comes to us from the sales department. Many of you were interacting with her in an agency sales manager capacity. We have 8 underwriters, average tenure of 9 years, and a broad range of product experience. We, in fact, brought in Emily, you'll see her over the course of a couple days, with jewelry management experience and underwriting with Erie Insurance for 3 years. That just gives you an example of the broad range of experience on this team. The team is currently in the process of transitioning from that single carrier focus to a multi-carrier focus. This will take time, but this is something we're working towards. Also cross-training on capabilities and sweet spots of the various carriers. Staff underwriting. As I mentioned, traditional underwriting staff underwriting activity, audits, training of staff, developing standard operating procedures, project management. I have Jenny Valdez. This is Jenny's first session. She missed, I think, 3 years ago by 1 week, given her start date, so she's excited to be here. And Jose Rodriguez down in Coral Gables. You're very familiar with him with the Pawn program. Unfortunately, he's not able to join us. But part of the staff underwriting activity, too, is leading some of these programs. Jose for the Pawn Binder program, Jenny Valdez for the JB Select program, which we'll be talking about more shortly here, and then in more detail this afternoon. All right, underwriting operations, service center. We're focusing on trying to get this to be a one-stop shop for jewelers and supportive agency partners, providing that linkage to the broad array of Jewelers Mutual capability. This is led by Leah Sensenbrenner, and Kara Solis is a supervisor for that team. Underwriting professionals with underwriting authority, that's a key point right there. And that's, I believe, is one of the great advantages of Service Center. I have previous underwriters working on that team. A call comes in, they're able to make a decision right on the spot. Current eligibility is for Jewelers Mutual Insurance Company accounts, looking at up to $7,500 in average premium. We can stretch a little bit beyond that if we need to. We're targeting a target for this year is to get to 40% of eligible Jewelers Mutual Insurance Company policies in force. We're currently at 34%. I'm sure Leah and Carol will be hitting you up, getting more people signed up for Service Center. It is a pretty good deal. I believe it's a 2-point hit on commission, but I think what it does for you on an agency perspective and the time it frees up for you is well worth it. And very proud of the team here. I think this is a point we need to highlight. The renewal acceptance rate for the Service Center accounts versus those not enrolled in the Service Center is actually better. Okay, also in underwriting operations, a policy specialist, a team of professionals facilitating all aspects of operational activity. Think about policy setup, programmatic decision making. I have staff based in Neenah and then also in Coral Gables. This is led by Leah Sensenbrenner and Kim Watterson. Kim also comes to us from the sales department. This team, I can't say enough good things about them, and I put the glue that holds this operation together. Really, given the manual nature of this product, if we didn't, if they're not on their game, this whole operation breaks down. Okay, let's talk about initiatives and development. Workers' comp. This is active initiative with Berkeley. It's a unique engagement with Berkeley, an expert in the jewelry space, just like Jewelers Mutual, but with a workers' comp product. This is about underwriting programs. This is quintessential. We're not going to develop the product ourselves. We're going to find another carrier that does it well, engage with them, and make it a part of our program. This is led by Dan Tober. He's our commercial lines underwriting manager. You can talk to him to get more information about it, but it affords you enhanced commission and is available in tandem with the Jewelers Mutual Insurance Company offering. Okay, single application. Think of this as one single utility to bring information to the table to get a quote from multiple carriers. Led by Matt Teese, what we did was we engaged agents, carrier partners, looked at the flow of the questions, tried to help facilitate that dialogue. It is customizable. You only need the pieces of the application that are pertinent to the product you're looking for. I want to stress this is an interim solution. It's not perfect, certainly, but it's kind of a tweener. It's a bridge to what is the more long-term solution with the technology. Think in terms of when we have this where we want it to be. You're entering information directly into maybe your iPad. You're bringing third-party data in. You have APIs over to other carriers, getting a rate, finding a coverage right at the point of contact. That's where we're going. This is an interim step. Okay, the Pawn Binder program. This is the program Jose Rodriguez is leading. Gary Wasserman set this up many years ago with London. It's an engagement where a certain amount of authority is granted to a cover holder and to make decisions on behalf of London. It's a warranted product. There's an annual binding agreement renewal, which we just renewed now here in April. It is what I believe is a premier product in the pawn space, one of three major carriers. There's Union Life and Casualty, Marshall and Sterling, and the Wexler product. Some new capabilities we're looking at. We may not get them this year, but we're certainly working towards it. Claims TPA. I think that's a very viable opportunity for us. JM Risk Services, running inspections for this program and getting some enhanced decision making. There is great growth potential here. There's opportunity there, so I would encourage everyone to check it out. JB Select. I am excited about this one. This is designed to be the model for future programs. It's an engagement with London. The newest addition to the program suite, we're going to target this at truly mall locations. I know over the last year, it's been a little bit of a tough situation with Jewelers Mutual Insurance Company. This will be an option for retail mall locations that fall in that category. We're looking at unique product features, different price points. This is led by Jenny Valdez, but again, I think this is our opportunity to demonstrate our capability to London and can open the door for future programs. Okay, future capabilities. I've got this broken down into serve, expand, and leverage. From a serve standpoint, continue to find additional programs to serve the industry. What areas do we lack? What programs do we need? Thinking in terms of, could an expansion of the fine arts program be on the table? What about a unique wholesale program? Manufacturing? Others? Really, we're looking to serve the industry. That is the goal of underwriting programs. Expand. Expand Jewelers Mutual Service Center beyond JMIC. If we develop that kind of capability in the service center for Jewelers Mutual Insurance Company, could we do this on behalf of other carriers? I think we certainly could. Leverage. Leverage technology, enhance efficiency, straight through processing. This is really, I think, where we gain a lot of steam with JM Partner Solutions and underwriting programs. I think in terms of agents being able to do what-if scenarios, what if I increase my BPP by $50,000? Instead of sending that to an underwriter for a rate, why couldn't I just do that right online? But yeah, I'm not going to forget this. Coming soon, agent-facing SharePoint site with improved binding capabilities. So that's coming. Really, it's getting away from a lot of the paper, unnecessary documentation. That's always been a goal since I came here. I think you know it better than anyone that this is a very manual product. If we can get away from that, I think that will be very beneficial. Okay, it's a bit of an eye chart here, but really what this is looking at, in the past, agents were segregated by territories. You had an application for each carrier you were working with. Really limited opportunity. There was no service center, and agents really responsible for every transaction. Now we've got open territories for everyone. We have the start here with a universal application. We got workers' comp in play. We've got a service center. The future, that's where the technology really enables efficiency, access to markets, really leveraging your capability as agents. Okay, here's a call to action. I would say, first of all, give the pawn program a shot. As I mentioned, it's a viable, stable program. We're excited. We just got the renewal in play. A lot of opportunity here. Why not try to expand into this market a bit? 2, be curious. Be curious. Engage with your underwriters. I'm a big believer in the interaction between the underwriter and the agent. I think some of the better ideas can come from all of you, certainly. So talk to your agent, make suggestions. Let's bring those to the table. 3, leverage your products and services to help your customers. We've got the service center. Big opportunity there, I think, for you as agency owners. Jewelers Mutual Risk Services, we have Securitas, Guard Service. Every jeweler I talk to has very positive things about it. Why is that program not expanding? I think we just need to get more push on that. And the workers' comp. Certainly this, I think Berkeley is a great partner. Give it a shot. 4th one, probably the most important. We haven't built this thing yet. I mean, it's in the process, but it still has a ways to go. Whatever opportunities you see, future programs, bring those to the table. Let's build those together. And with that, I'm open to any questions you might have. Yeah. Yep. 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 Agreed. Products available: cyber, kidnap, and ransom on a standalone basis. They're available. They're packaged in with the pawn program, but they can be done on a standalone basis. So if you have those, those are opportunities for expansion, certainly. Jewelry, pawn, yep. Yep. Howard.
It really makes you stand out, and it's something that you can offer to your clients. And cyber is just one of those that everybody keeps saying you need to have cyber. So it's a great product.
Yeah, there's a lot. A lot of chat. We were talking about this at the AAC meeting yesterday. A lot of chatter about it, but a lot of confusion too on the cyber risk. How much coverage should I buy? I think that is, for you as agents talking to your clients, huge opportunity.
This year involving cyber extortion. So when they come in, they hack into your system and they ransom you back for Bitcoin, these are serious claims that disrupt the business. There's also business interruption that's a component of that. It's a serious product, and everybody should be selling that.
We could, when thinking about this, we could probably do a webinar on that for more detailed information. I think that might be helpful, if you think so. A contrast with our current.
talking about. I know that, and his policy is much richer than what Jewelers Mutual is offering on their BOP. But
Yep.
then you need a way to pull it off the BOP. What's the client going to do when you pull it off the BOP and you purchase and you give them that opportunity for a true cyber policy and explain it to them so that customers understand what we're bringing to them. And I think that has to be very clear
Oh, very, yeah, compare
because
and
they're relying
contrast
on
on.
us.
Yep, I agree. Other questions? Everybody's getting hungry? Yes. Hang on, Mark's coming back. Mark's coming back.
Will it become worldwide? Will you start to offer worldwide coverage, and how are you going to manage that?
I guess I don't see Jewelers Mutual Insurance Company from an international perspective, but I think that's where we engage with London. I think they, on an international basis, I think those are the opportunities where you can build programs and take it that route. Stark. Yeah. Yep. No, I think a couple things that come to mind is, first of all, with an admitted product on the JMIC side, it's a filed application too. So have to look in and see what the opportunity is there for a more of a, call it a digital version. I think there is an opportunity there. So I mean, a lot of the questions asked there are redundant to the application. They're basically validating what was originally on the, call it the paper application. The other piece is for the warranted, because keep in mind that the JMIC product is not warranted. For the warranted, where the application attaches to the policy itself, I guess I'd have to research on what the implications are on that part.
Start. People lose contact with the business approved vehicle. People know that agent contact.
Well, I think people you go out and see, if you're talking about the people you're going out to see, but a lot of us get phone calls. You know, hey, I'd like to get a quote. I mean, I can't imagine I'm the only one that getting a call. And sometimes, they're a kiosk in the local mall or what have you. And I'm sure we're all collecting some of this data via email. I'm just simply saying, I think it might be easier than, I end up collecting that information, then filling out your combined application. I mean, it wouldn't be good for every one of them, Dave. There's no doubt. And when you go out and try to see them, I mean, right now I'm trying to see people in bulk. So I may not see them when I write them. I may see them when I'm in that city or that area of the state. So, I mean, it's going to get, I got to believe at Jewelers Mutual, they're putting this information into an application. So I'm just simply saying, why not cut out a couple of steps?
Yeah, and my 2 cents there is for maybe the smaller to mid-size accounts might be most appropriate, but when you get to a larger account, maybe more of that personal interaction might be more appropriate. So just something to think about there too.
Following up on the same line with the single application, I mean, I personally find it way too bulky. It's asking too many questions. I realize you want to collect data, but it's just not practical for what we're doing. And with a lot of the other carriers, because it is attaching as a warranty, it's asking way too many questions and it's affecting a lot of coverage. And I'm sure other people have that concern. I personally don't want to use a single application. It's not going to work for my clients.
That's very good feedback. One thing I would bring out though is we did take the unique questions to some carriers and put them as an addendum just because of that particular concern. So that may alleviate some of your concern. Perhaps we could.
John, that's my question too. That's a 19-page application, you know, and the little girl who's selling $300 pieces of jewelry out of her condo, you got to fill out that 19-page application to get a quote.
So what I would say there is it is long in its entirety, but you don't need all of those pieces. And I would say you don't even present those parts that aren't pertinent to the risk that you're quoting. So when you're quoting the number of pages, that's the application in its entirety, but based on questions asked, you wouldn't even be asking certain questions. So it shrinks it down there too. Plus there's a whole bunch of state disclosures at the end too that add to some of the length. Yeah.
To follow up what Seth was saying, though, it is if we have a question there and we leave it unanswered, all of a sudden that underwriter or broker wants all this extra information. They already come back with like 500 million questions, and I've used the single app and I liked it. It's just getting used to that. Figuring out which I skip, and I don't have to put 5 different contacts on there or things like that. But it's more of, I think it's harder for me as having the Wexler app that I've used with every carrier, no problems. And the only one that needed more information was Jewelers Mutual. And to follow up, I'm sorry if this gentleman said, like if they put those questions on the True Pick instead, so that if I did go with Jewelers Mutual, instead of sending the supplemental app afterwards, if they put it in a True Pick, like I did really like that idea, but I don't know if that's something that's able to be done, but just based on between Seth and what everybody has said here.
Yep.
Figured I'd mention it.
No, and this is exactly the kind of feedback I want, so please keep it coming. Couple of thoughts. First of all, we are going to be moving it to an Excel version, which will, again, populate questions based on, how a certain question is answered. It may populate questions or may not. So that could help alleviate some of the length. And absolutely, that's stuck in my head. I know it's stuck in my team's head too, on what can we do with TruePick to help enhance this process. So appreciate that.
Going back also with regards to, very loud. I believe the customer contact filling out an application is very important, because not only when you're asking that, you're guiding them through it. Sometimes these people might be saying, well, how much inventory do you have? Oh, do you need extra coverage during Christmas? Or, if you're in Palm Beach, you need it from November through May. And then next thing you know, the premium's going up, but you're also making sure they're properly covered. If you leave it to a jeweler, how much out of safe? I just wrote an account with 3 million inventory, wanted 1.5 million out, and I had to walk them down the ledge, take them off the ledge. And I think that's one thing that TruePick won't do by taking that out.
No, and never do we want to get between you and your relationship with the jeweler. TruePick is just meant to enhance that relationship. In situations where maybe you're not able to make an in-person visit, it's been invaluable for us. And again, I would go back to, perhaps size of account makes a difference on when this might be more applicable as a substitute for an application or not. I mean, those are all things we'll need to consider together.
Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah.
Hello. Oh, sorry. To reiterate, I think the TruePick, I was originally hesitant and not negligent, but reticent to use it. But now over time, it's become a situation, to your point, that I can go in and do the inspection myself in lieu of having to sign a renewal application every year, especially with the strip mall thing we went through. Now on new business, the application, I have never sent a blank app to a customer. I fill that out on the phone either with them or in person, because it is a long application and they do get confused. So regarding taking things away or minimizing it, I think that does a disservice to the agent and the underwriters, because you don't have to get it all. Like John said, you know what to get. You don't need the breakdown of their inventory to the exact percentage. It's, help them out so they are comfortable knowing that you're at least asking the question. So when they do sign the app, you asked me about it. We decided on this answer.
I was just gonna say, I like Flyreel a lot better than TruePick. I think it walks you through it. I do, I like it a lot. Shut up. Sorry. And then I also, On the change of location application, we have to
Yeah.
do the TruePick and the change of location app, and I just think that's a lot too.
So the main difference between Flyreel and TruePick, Flyreel is a little more just reliance on video too, versus TruePick is more of just the still pictures. Video, it enhances the underwriting experience, it enhances the agent's experience, seeing the inside of the store, being able to make, it's a little more cumbersome, but it also has a very dynamic, if for those of you that have done it, it's got dynamic Q&A back and forth. It's more of a conversational experience for the client, but they each have their place, you know, and I realize the TruePick is quite a bit easier, but I mean, you know, there's different theories on that. What else?
I got one more right here. Oh, sorry.
I guess I just had a quick note on TruePick is that we do have videos built into there now, John. That's fairly recent. So if you guys haven't done a TruePick recently, we do have kind of those scan features built into the TruePick inspection now. So hopefully maybe that would alleviate some of your concerns with TruePick where you can see more of that holistic view of the jeweler. Really the main difference is the interactivity is Flyreel is a lot more interactive with the jeweler and like that chat versus TruePick is, you know, just a list of questions and videos.
And that is Jenny Valdez, my staff underwriter, keeping me honest.
To prove her
I-
point, a new business, she had a location in a strip mall, but it's inside of a chiropractor office.
Mhm.
So the TruePick we sent was her video walking in, showing where she was, and no signage, so therefore she wasn't truly strip mall. So it works. Good deal. Great.
Other questions? Okay, seeing none, a couple of things. First of all, I'm looking forward to seeing many of you this afternoon at the JV Select session where we can talk in more detail about it. There's also workers' comp session, a lot of good sessions this afternoon. So definitely reach out to me, reach out to my team for further engagements on any of this, because I wasn't able to go into real great detail here. And